induction in continuation. Today we will be previous class. Mutual induction, if you want to learn, this is when I make the current to pass through one coil, then induced EMF, and hence you can say the induced current is produced in the nearby coil because of the change in the magnetic flux which is produced, as was done by the Faraday's experiment. So the magnetic induction, if you want to define, this is the phenomenon of inducing EMF in a coil due to change of current with time in the nearby coil. Or this coil from which I am passing the current, this is known as primary coil, and in which the induced current or induced EMF is produced, that is termed as secondary coil. So I have written this first coil as the primary coil, P for primary I have written, and S for secondary coil I have written, or you may call it as first coil, and this you may call it as the second coil. So it means what it is, that induced EMF is produced in the secondary coil when you are allowing the current to pass through the primary coil. And this phenomenon of production of induced EMF, and hence of course it will produce the induced current, and due to which you can see the deflection in the galvanometer. And of course if you reverse the polarities of this battery, then the deflection goes to the other side, as we have discussed in the Faraday's experiment also. So the same phenomenon in self-induction, the induced EMF is produced in the same coil here, but it is produced in the neighboring coil. So this is the difference between the self-induction and the mutual induction. So we want to get the expression for the coefficient of mutual induction, or I can call it as mutual inductance. So if it means what is happening, if I am making the current to pass through this primary coil or the first coil, then flux is produced in the secondary coil, magnetic flux keeps changing, and this flux, which I may call it as phi 2 or I may call it as phi 2 due to 1, this is directly proportional to the current flowing through the first coil. So I may write it as I, or to more appropriate I can write it as I1. I may suppose I1 is the current which is flowing through the primary coil. Then it means if I remove the sign of proportionality, then I get a constant which I am writing by capital M. This M is the constant of proportionality and is also known as mutual inductance, or you may call it as coefficient of mutual induction. So of course if I take that the unit amount of current is flowing through the primary coil, then this coefficient of mutual inductance, it comes equals to the magnetic flux phi. So you can define mutual inductance, that is the magnetic flux which is linked with the secondary coil when unit current flows through the primary coil. It means when you allow 1 unit or 1 ampere current to flow from the primary coil, then what is the magnetic flux which is induced, changed in the secondary coil, that is equals to the mutual inductance, that is capital M. Another way of getting the definition for the mutual inductance is in terms of the induced EMF. Again, induced EMF is produced in the secondary coil, so you can write it as E2, which is equals to minus of rate of change of the magnetic flux. By Lenz's law and Faraday's laws, you know this equation. So you can say directly that EMF, it is equals to negative of d phi 21 by dt. But d phi 21, it is equals to mi1. So if I replace the value of phi, I am getting minus of m di1 by dt. So if di1 by dt is unity, then E becomes equals to m, or you can say induced EMF in the secondary coil, it becomes equals to the mutual inductance. So you can say that mutual inductance, it is defined as the induced EMF which is set up in the secondary coil when the di by dt, of course, decrease in the current, rate of decrease of current is the primary coil is unit. And of course, you should be knowing the units for the mutual inductance, that is Henry, same as that of self-inductance. And of course, these definitions are also in a similar way as it was there for the self-inductance. So the whole thing is same, but the only difference is there you were having in the same coil the flux was changing, here the flux is changing in the neighboring coil. Of course, you can define 1 Henry also by using either of these two equations. It means you can write it in Weber. If you want to write in terms of the flux, then Weber per second, or you can write it in terms of your second equation. First equation if you write, then of course m it is equals to phi upon I. It means Weber per ampere. And similar you can write for using the second equation in terms of volt, ampere and second. And of course the dimensional formula will be same as that of self-inductance. So dimensional formula and units are same for mutual and self-inductance, that you can keep in mind and you should be able to find the values. So I think it is clear with all of you. We can move ahead. Now we want to calculate the value of mutual inductance for two long coaxial solenoids. Coaxial means they are passing through the same axis. This axis is same and the current you are allowing to pass from the primary coil and induced EMF, and hence the induced current is there in the secondary coil, and of course that can be observed by the deflection in the galvanometer. So now what it is, that magnetic field, if you see due to the primary solenoid, because we have done with this formula for the magnetic field, when I make the current to pass through the solenoid, that is B, it is equals to mu n I. Now if I am taking the first primary solenoid as the first solenoid, then I may write it to be more appropriate. I am writing it as B1, it is equals to not N1 I. Here N1 is the number of turns years per unit length for the primary coil. I1 is the current passing through the primary coil. Now because of this magnetic field produced in the primary solenoid, the magnetic flux which is there linked in the secondary solenoid, you can write per turn, that is equals to B1 into A. Area of this secondary coil, or you can write it in terms of, if you put the value of B1, you can write it as mu naught N1 I1 into A. And this N1, of course, you can write it in terms of total number of turns per unit length. Small n, it is equals to capital N upon L. So that denotation we are keeping same all the time. And if you have not in your mind, you can always mention it separately, so as to remember it, that small n it is equals to capital N upon L, or capital N it is equals to small n multiplied L, that is the length of the solenoid. Here L we are taking as the length of the solenoid. So when you write bache this time, this L you should be writing in a proper way, so that you should be able to get it. Now magnetic flux which is linked across the n turns of the secondary solenoid, you have to multiply with the number of turns of the secondary solenoid. If I am assuming it to be n2, then phi 21 I can write it as mu naught n1 n2 I1 A divided by L. But this phi 21, that is equals to magnetic mutual inductance in the secondary coil due to primary coil, and to the current due to the primary coil. So you can compare these both the equations. One value I am getting by finding the magnetic field, and then magnetic flux, it is equals to B dot A. But if they are in the same direction, then maximum value you can write it as BA, and you have written it in terms of total number of turns in the solenoid. Then you are simply equating it with this definition which we have got just now for the mutual inductance. Now if you compare these both the equations, then what you are getting the value of M21, that is, of course, I1 in both these equations will get cancelled on both the sides, and you can write M21, it is equals to mu naught N1 N2 A divided by L. Or if you replace capital N by small n, then you can write it as mu naught small n1 small n2 A I. Similarly, if you allow the current to pass through this coil, secondary coil, then induced EMF of this due to change in magnetic flux will occur in the primary coil. So in that case, you can say that mutual inductance in first coil due to the second coil. But if you try that way also, the result you will get the same. So it means either of these two coils you allow the current to pass, then magnetic flux will be produced in the nearby coil. That is the general definition. But for to be more accurate, we are calling the current through which we will pass, always name it as the primary coil, and in which the magnetic flux or the induced EMF is produced, that we will call it as the secondary coil. But it has been proved mathematically that if I allow the current to pass through this coil and I put the galvanometer across this coil, then also this mutual inductance in the first coil due to second coil comes out to be also same. So mathematically you can say M12 it is equals to M21. Now you should be able to answer this question also, that what are the factors on which mutual inductance depends. Of course, it depends upon the geometry of the coils, means how you are winding the coils, and what is the nature of material on which the coils are wound. It means what is the your like core, you can say soft iron core, or you are taking some other material, or you are not using any core. It will depend upon that also. It will depend upon the distance between the coils also, like if you are putting two coaxial coils, or you are putting it in some different way, what is the distance between the coil, that will also affect the mutual inductance. And of course the relative placement of the coils, you can say that if you are putting the coils like this, first arrangement, I can put primary like this and secondary like this. Of course in this case you can see the deflection in the galvanometer will be least, I think. Or you put the coils like this, just close to each other, or you are putting it like this, like coaxial. We have just done the derivation. So these are the three methods by which I can place these primary and secondary coils with me, and in that arrangement, of course, the mutual inductance that will be getting affected. That how are you going to put the, of course in this case, third case, it will be giving you the maximum value, and here you will be giving, it will be giving you the least value, because you can observe that, because it will, what type of change in magnetic flux it will produce in the secondary coil when you allow the current to pass through the primary coil. So that will depend upon their placement, distance between points, which of course you have to keep it in your mind. Now if when we have derived the expression, we have taken that there is no core in between, it means air is there, and we took the permeability due to vacuum or free space mu naught. Now if the solenoids are wound on a magnetic core of relative permeability mu r, then it means this mu naught has to be replaced by mu, or mu you can write it as mu naught mu r. So the expression for the mutual inductance will become mu naught mu r capital N1 capital N2 A divided by L. L is the length. This you must note, Here this is L, which is the length of the solenoid. Now if second choice is that if the solenoids have the number of turns n1 and n2 but of different radii, it means area will get affected if the area R1 and R2 are different. In that case, you have to see that M12 and M21, the values will become different. And in that case, area you will be replacing by, because here we took due to first coil on the second coil, which we take in general. So you will be replacing area of the first coil, that is pi R1 square. Rest of the things will remain the same. Of course, as we are saying, it is dependent upon the relative placement of the coils. Then you can define the coefficient of coupling also. Coefficient of coupling K, it is equals to M divided by square root of L1, L2. Of course, L1, L2, they are the self-inductances of the two coils, whatever P1, P2 are given to you. So you can name the coils according to your choice, but this formula of coupling you have to keep in mind, that by this you can come to know that how the coils has been placed. And most of the times K is found to be less than 1. So it means self-inductance and mutual inductance, if you have to relate by any formula, so this can be related by this formula of coefficient of coupling. No need to go for the derivation, you can simply keep this formula in your mind and you can use it in the numericals. Of course, this is not directly in your syllabus, but numericals I have seen many times, they give you that the coils are circular coils like this. So I'm taking these two cases with you, that when the coils are kept at same center, means concentric coils, or I may have the coils which are kept on the same axis. So you should be able to find, this is a theoretical question of course, and can be asked not directly but application based type question, you may say, that it's not specially mentioned in your syllabus, but it is an application of your learning, that whatever you have learned, if I'm saying that I have two concentric coils C1 and C2, radii I have marked R1 and R2, then magnetic flux which is linked, if I am saying that current is passing through the second coil C2, and then magnetic flux which is linked with the first coil, inner coil is the first coil I am taking, the outer coil I am taking as C2. So flux will be linked in the C1, then your flux you can find by B2 A1, and the value of B for the circular coil, you know, that is equals to mu naught I upon 2 R2. So because these derivations for the magnetic field we have already done in the chapter of magnetic effects of current for the circular coil, for the solenoid. So all this should be in your mind and you should be able to use these formulas directly, and area you can write by pi R1 square. Now if you work out this is the value of the flux, that is mu naught pi R1 square upon 2 R2 multiplied with the current I, because I have assumed I current is flowing, but you know that flux it is equals to Mi. So if you equate first and second equation, you can find the equation for the mutual inductance, which is coming out to be mu naught pi R1 square divided by 2 R2. Now if you do reverse way, you allow the current to pass through the first coil, then you find the mutual inductance in the second coil M21, that also will come equals to M12. So in general we have written it as capital M. You can leave the thing here, M it is equals to mu naught pi R1 square upon 2 R2, but in calculations when you put the value mu naught upon 4 pi equals to 10 to minus 7. So in that way if you wish to write, you can write it as mu naught upon 4 pi into 2 pi R1 square divided by R2. Magnetic field, once you know these are the steps, whatever derivation they may give, whatever shape they may give, you should be able to find the flux, and you should be able to equate the flux with the general definition of mutual inductance, that phi it is equals to Mi, and you can always find the expression for the mutual inductance. So it means this is nothing to mention in the syllabus, but of course this is your general previous knowledge, and you should be able to use your previous knowledge, and you should be able to solve this type of questions also. Now if I, in case I am putting the circular coils but on the lying on the same axis, it means two coaxial circular coils there, and of course radii I am taking small r and capital R. Of course capital R is greater than small r. You can see that in the diagram itself. Now if you allow the current I1 to flow through this coil C1, now because of that ring you are finding at a distance x, means due to this point O you are finding at O dash, then this is the formula for the magnetic field. You should be able to use this formula for the magnetic field, that is mu naught upon 4 pi into 2 pi r square I1 divided by r square plus x square 3 by, this distance is of course x. This distance is x. You should be able to get that because we have done with this derivation. So you should be able to work out the things, and you should be able to solve it. Then magnetic flux, that is given by B1A2. A2 you should be able to write, that is pi small r square, and this value of B1 is already known to you. Then you compare it with Mi1 and you can find the value of M, which is coming out to be mu naught upon 4 pi into 2 pi square r square small r square divided by r square plus x square power 3 by 2. So these type of things you should be able to work out by using your previous knowledge. These are few questions on the basis of mutual inductance I have taken, so that you should be keep working with the numerical problems and the conceptual problems along with for a given particular topic. Like the question is saying, in a car spark coil, EMF of 4 into 10 raised to the power 4 volt is induced in the secondary when primary current changes from 4 ampere to 0 ampere in 10 microseconds. Now time is given, change in current is given, it means you can find di by dt. Find the mutual inductance between the primary and secondary windings of this spark coil. So you have to find the mutual inductance that we are finding by the second definition, that is EMF, it is equals to minus of M di by dt. Now di by dt is given, that is your 0 minus 4 in times for minus 6, that is coming in negative sign, 4 into 10 for 5 ampere per second. EMF is given 4 into 10 for 4 volt. So you simply put the value of EMF and minus di by dt, because it will become positive. M is coming out to be 0.1 Henry. That is, a conducting wire of 100 turns is wound over and near the center of a solenoid of 100 centimeter length and 2 centimeter radius having 600 turns. I am reading it again. Conducting wire of 100 turns is wound over and near the center of the solenoid of 100 centimeter length and 2 centimeter radius having 600 turns. It means I am wounding this 100 turns coil over the solenoid having 600 turns. So this is your primary coil and this is your secondary coil. So it means N1 number of turns in the primary coil are 600, while number of turns in the secondary coil are 100. Length of the solenoid is given 100 centimeter and radius is given 2 centimeter. Of course, you need to convert it into meter. Centimeter is always to be converted into meter for solving the things. So you can find the area, that is equals to pi r square. So you should be able to convert this radius into meter and then you can find the area. Mutual inductance, the formula for the two coaxial solenoids, because they are also, this is secondary coil is also wound over the primary coil and both are passing through the same central line. So they are coaxial coils, you can say. So the formula for the coaxial coils you will be writing, that is mu naught N1 N2 A divided by L. So the value of L again is given in centimeters. You have to convert it into meters. You have to put the value of mu naught, which is equals to 4 pi into 10 to the power minus 7. N1, N2 is given. Area you have calculated by multiplying with pi into r square by putting the values. So you have to solve this question, simple mathematics. The only thing is you have to understand the question and you should be able to use the formula, correct formula which is required to solve the question. So I am getting the answer 9.47 into 10 to the power minus 5 Henry. Units you must mention at the end. So we can move ahead. This is the last question with you. I'm reading the question for you people. Bache, this is very important question. This type of questions are asked in your CBSE exam. You have to obtain an expression for the mutual inductance between a long straight wire and a square loop of side A as shown in this diagram. So this diagram is there with you. They are taking a long straight wire through which the current I is passing and you are having a square loop of side A each, and it means current is passing through this straight wire and flux will be changing in this square which is of side A, which is whose one side, this side is at distance x, you can say, and you are saying first expression, that is the theoretical question. It means you have to obtain the expression for the mutual inductance. That is the theoretical question, like we have done for the circular loop. Second part of the question is saying, now assume that the straight wire is a current of 50 ampere and loop is moved to the right with constant velocity v. This is the second part. First part, they are not mentioning where the current is passing, what is happening. You have to think by yourself. But we will assume passing it in this wire only, because the second part will be easy for us then to do. Because they are asking current is passing through this wire and this your loop is allowed to move with the constant velocity v, which is equals to 10 meter per second. You have to calculate the induced EMF in the loop when x it is equals to 0.2 meter. They are asking you to take side equals to 0.1 meter and assume that loop has a large resistance. So second part is a numerical, but first part of this question is a theoretical question. Like you have to simply derive the expression for the mutual inductance. In the second part, you will be finding the induced EMF by using the formula. So these are the two parts with you. So firstly, the question should be clear with all of you. Then only we can go with the solution. And for assuming the solution, what we are assuming, of course, we are taking here in this loop, we are taking this small path, small element dy, which is at distance y from this straight conductor. So this assumption you have to make in the beginning. Y is the distance from this straight conductor for the given for the small element dy. This is a lightened area portion which is termed as the small element dy. Now we have to find the magnetic flux which is linked with the small element, and then we will integrate for this. If I am assuming this distance is x, then let this distance, because a length is further added, so this distance for the extreme side of the square will become x plus a. So we have to integrate within the limits x to x plus a what will be the value of the flux. So this is the concept which we are using. We are going to find firstly the magnetic flux which is associated with the small element, and then we will integrate for the whole thing to get for this whole square, and that will be our result for the mutual inductance. So if I am having this small element dy, then I should be able to find the magnetic flux of this is given by d phi, which is equals to b into dA. dA is the small area of the small element, and area of the element is length into breadth. So this I am assuming dy, but this side is equals to a. So area will be equals to a into dy. Now magnetic flux, magnetic field if you want to find due to the straight conductor, that formula you can use directly. Magnetic field at a distance y because of a straight conductor, that is given by mu naught I upon 2 pi y. So this magnetic field is known. Area dA we have calculated, so you can find the value of d phi. With the things, this I have repeated with you so that in case if you want to keep this formula mu naught I upon 2 pi a, you can put it here. And this is giving me the value of d phi. D phi, it is giving me b into dA. B is this and dA is this, so you need to multiply the both, and I am getting d phi, it is equals to mu naught I a dy divided by 2 pi. When I want to find the total flux, then I have to integrate within the limits x to x plus a. So you have to, these all mu naught I a and 2 pi are constant, can be written outside, and inside integration I am getting dy upon y. And integral of 1 upon y dy is log of ey. So you can use that formula for the integration. You can use upper limit minus lower limit. So when you work it out, you are getting mu naught Ia upon 2 pi log of E into A plus X minus log X. So which you can write it as log E A plus X divided by X. This is the value of the flux. You may call it as equation number 1. Second equation I am taking from the definition that phi it is equals to mi. So if you equate first and second equation, you can get the value of mutual inductance. I will get cancelled in both these equations, and you are left with m, which is equals to mu naught a upon 2 pi log of E a upon x plus 1. So this is the formula with you for the mutual inductance. So this is the first part of the question where you were to derive the expression for the mutual inductance in one to the other. Now what is the value of EMF induced? EMF induced, that is equals to, you can write it as V dash into AB, or you can write B value mu naught I for this distance x into A into T. So this formula you should be able to get with you. That then you can simply put the values of current, distance, area and velocity, and then you should be able to work out the things. So this formula is important for the current induced EMF, because induced EMF is what? That is equals to di by dt. So by that dx by dt is converted into v. So that length you have to write in terms of change in length upon time, in terms of the velocity, because velocity is given to you in the question. So this is all for today, and you keep working more questions on the mutual inductance and as well self-inductance. Thank you everyone.